Welcome to Season 2 of Fatigued But Not Forgotten. Once again, we're rival writers stuck in an elevator with you, a group of high-powered producers. We have only 15 minutes before the elevator is repaired, and both of us are going to pitch you a movie, a long-needed sequel, prequel, remake, reboot, or remakequel to a movie that never got one, or perhaps to a franchise that has been dead for over 20 years. My name is Matt Reifschneider, and I am joined by my friend, co-host, and aspiring nemesis, Sean Caylor. How are you doing today, Sean?
I'm feeling pretty great knowing that the Denver Broncos suck. As we record this, the football season has just started, and the Denver Broncos suck.
I'm sorry, what was that? I'm pretty sure your 49ers had to be taken to the hospital in an ambulance. It was a whambulance.
Yeah, right.
God damn it. I just, for serious, like, don't you make fun of my Broncos. This is already getting heated. You already pissed me off, and we're going to be debating movies today.
Yeah.
You're going to go down. You're going to go down in flames. You're going to go down as fast and as furious as the Denver Broncos have this year.
So interestingly, for season 2, you see, we've realized that every month you guys only have so much budget, so us pitching you 2 movies across 2 episodes is really split in focus. So instead, we're going to pitch you 2 movies across 1 episode. Now, this is a much more savage competition show. It is one versus the other. We're pitching you. We basically know that only one movie is getting funded with the leftover money this month, and only one of our pitches is going to land. So now, our new format, while our repairman is trying to get to this ever malfunctioning elevator.
I know, we should just put cots in here, because I get real tired in here. Let's put some cots up. I mean, let's just take a nap. And you should take a nap, and I'll pitch my movie, because it's going to win. So just take a nap. It'll be fine.
That might work.
Or not. And you know what? I am excited, though, for this new format. I will say Season 2 is it looks to be a much improved, a more efficient, $6 million man kind of fucking season here. I'm very excited for it. And I think this new formatting for this not only is going to be more fun for you and me, it's going to be more fun for our audience. I'm sorry, our high-powered producers. Our high-powered producers are going to enjoy this more.
So, basically, before I get started pitching off for our body horror month, it's going to be me for 3 minutes, Matt with his ridiculousness for his 3 minutes. Then we've got basically a freeform 3 to 5 minutes to hamstrung each other / try and support our own arguments. And then, of course, a 2-minute closing to be used as one feels is appropriate.
Yeah. I like it. I like the format. And since we are tentatively pitching a franchise, this should come with a spoiler warning for everybody out there that I pretty much guarantee you that we're going to spoil the movies that we are discussing. So if you, once you hear which movies we are talking about, if you feel like you don't want it spoiled, please go ahead, just pause the podcast, go check it out, those movies, and then come back and check us later. And before we get too far along, Sean, shame on you. We have to take care of the business.
Oh, I did miss the business.
We have to take care of the business, and here at No Franchise Fatigue, we like to give you the business. That is what we like to do. So if you like what you hear today, please check out our expanding back catalog wherever you listen to your podcasts, Anchor.fm, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, or our newest avenue, YouTube. Check out our other series. We have now a weekly series. Each week will be a different series that we have going on forward in Season 2. That includes the classic No Franchise Fatigue. It includes the classic Good, Bad, Weird, and Wild series. And then also a brand new series for Season 2 for your lists only. So definitely check those out for all of your cinematic weird analysis needs. And while you're there, please don't forget, rate, review, and subscribe. Why? Because you deserve good things in your life, like silly cinematic franchises and more episodes of No Franchise Fatigue. There, I'm done. I did my business on your lawn. You're fine.
Like, comment, subscribe, whole 9, and I'm about to hit my 3 minutes. Are you ready for the first pitch of Season 2?
No, I am not nearly drunk enough to be ready for your pitch, because your pitches are always wild.
Well, prepare for another wild one, and here I go. So, a long, long time ago, there was a Chinese version of a Chinese film version of a Japanese manga. These things happen. However, only one could really fit in with Body Horror Month, and that is the immortal classic that deserves a remake, Riki-Oh, the story of Ricky. So let me tell you a thing or two about Riki-Oh. This is a movie that features a fight where a man punches another man in the stomach so hard he rips his intestines out and strangles him to death with it. It is amazing. There is nothing else like Riki-Oh, my friends. I am telling you, the brutality and the ultra-violence is almost unmatched in cinema to this day. But there's also some legitimate ridiculousness. Much as I personally enjoy this movie, there's also basically a Gwar. If you've ever been to a Gwar concert and seen how they put basically body puppets on people, that's basically the final enemy of this movie, is a giant Gwar puppet. There's some stuff we could do with this. So, to kind of already only got a minute left. Boy, this happens fast. To get everybody up to speed, basically Ricky is a guy who is brought to prison on manslaughter, and the quick and dirty is that it's kind of about his escape from this ultra brutal totalitarian prison. It kind of imagines this world where prisons are privatized and the conditions are inhumane and completely ludicrous. I know it's a world that's incredibly hard to imagine, and it's hard to even think of how one could, maybe in the year of our Lord 2020, maybe make a socially conscious, ultra-violent horror action movie out of this. But basically what I'm saying is, if you take it and you make Ricky, an innocent man put in prison, and then you kind of take the same structure and just have it be an ultra-violent escape from prison that literally ends with him punching his way through this wall, by the way, because obviously Chinese movies in this point of the 80s were amazing. And shoot, that's my time. Boy, 3 minutes happens fast now.
Yeah, that's a brutal 3 minutes. I know, when you're used to 4, huh?
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
But that formatting is foregone.
All right, so please, by all means, what could you possibly pitch that would be a better body horror choice for these people's budget than Riki-Oh, the story of Ricky? Go!
All right. So first and foremost, I want to take a minute to address your concerns with your film. That being that, as much as you want to claim it being body horror, it's more just body action. So I'm just going to lean into that for a second. But also, you didn't really pitch a remake. You just pitched the first Riki-Oh again, which is fair. It's fair. It's a cult film. Doesn't really have an audience that knows it too well here in the United States, which, reminder, as you reminded me so eloquently in the Five Venoms episode, that these producers are from Hollywood, not anywhere else. So we're just going to make that point here real quick. And I'm going to say, you know what? Instead of trying to pitch a remake of a foreign film that may not quite be body horror like our theme of the month is, I'm going to pitch you a pure American piece of fucking cinema as a remake/sequel. And that is a remake/sequel, because I want to tie it into the original one, of Leviathon. That's right. The Thing meets Alien meets underwater, and it's gonna be fucking glorious, because this is an unseen American goddamn classic of cult cinema. This is a movie that has an incredible cast. It deserves it. It deserves its cult audience that it has. And it's also a film with lots of themes that translate really, really well to 2020. You talk about privatized institutions like prisons. I'm going to talk about the corporate need for science at the bottom of the sea and how they just want to fuck everything up because they only believe in science so far. Guess what? That's where we're at, folks, and that's where we're going to stay for a little while as far as I'm concerned. So we're going to talk a little bit about judging a Leviathan remake sequel, and that is that it's a movie that will not be indicated as a sequel until much later in. You're going to once again have an ensemble cast, except this time we're going to be bringing the Leviathan and the monstrous evil vodka that transforms these people into monsters down at the bottom of the sea, and we're going to put it on a ship that's out there to who has accidentally discovered the remains of what has been at the bottom of the base at here. Obviously, the ending of Leviathan tries to take care of that, but we can skirt around that a little bit. So, you know how that works. Welcome to Hollywood, guys. Right, producers? All right. So we're going to bring it to the surface, and we're going to then proceed to have a sea fever type film where they have to contain the new virus on the boat, thing-like and incredible, while a hurricane is raging. And I'm out of time. Oh, wow. Wow, your 1 second mark was you flipping me off. Wow. So did you see that, producers? Do you want to work with this man? Do you?
Okay.
This guy just flips me off.
Oh, I'm sorry. While you're trying to both say that Riki-Oh is not a body horror movie, a movie where the dude gets pissed off and literally claps a dude's head, explodes, again, strangles another man to death with intestine, and it does end up with a legitimate giant puppet. I mean, the effects aren't good, but with modern effects, you can make a body horror masterpiece out of this movie. And you're trying to come at me with Leviathan, the movie whose plot is literally, we saw the thing and sort of remember it.
Yeah, but you know what? If I want my violence where people get fucking killed, I'm going to watch UFC. I could watch that any fucking day of the week.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I miss the Ronda Rousey match where she freaking pulled someone's intestines out and strangled them to death with it?
You did. It was edited for TV. Oh. So I'm just saying,
touché.
Like even that's how it goes. But okay. Come on. Okay. Even if I want to give you Riki-Oh as being a body horror film, which, okay, maybe I'll give it to you as a stretch in its violence and in its ludicrous ways, but Leviathan is truly a body horror film, and it's based on formulas that fucking work.
Well, again, the formula is I saw the Blob, sort of. Like, there's no...
Originality is overrated, my friend. It's all about execution.
Yeah, but there's lack of originality, and then there is just, like, flat-ass lifting scenes. I mean...
Yeah, but that's the brilliance of Leviathan, my friend, and that's what the brilliance of a sequel could be, is that you can pull from other influences as you go. Because Leviathan's not just a Thing knockoff. It's a little bit of Alien. It's a little bit of, other underwater films of that ilk, you could just throw in some if you wanted to make it a little bit more artsy, throw in it, like, as I mentioned at the end of mine, Sea Fever, which came out earlier this year, which was like the perfect quarantine film about a virus that gets unleashed on a ship, right? But that's a film, unfortunately, not a lot of people have seen, but you can pull some influence from those kinds of things, Maybe we're pulling a little bit of influence from something else that's a little bit more modern, maybe a little bit more of an H.P. Lovecraft tone to it, because he's fucking rocking right now.
Oh, yeah, everybody knows that famous modern author, H.P. Lovecraft. So, I'm going to go ahead and roll that into my last two here. So, I'm going to take the class move here and use my last 2 minutes to actually really polish off my pitch. So, what I really think that this movie is you get, you get someone like Donnie Yen, someone just really some gravitas to it, someone where you can honestly believe he was wrongly imprisoned. And you don't necessarily have to do the same cartoonish thing that the original movie is, as much as I do adore that cult beauty. But instead, you could take a slightly more, give it to the Raid, Gareth the Raid. So, you take it, you make it a little grounded. You make a prison movie sort of like the beginning of the Raid 2, but you amp up that violence. You give it that little James Wan, that little Darren Lynn Boozman, that little Eli Roth stank, You have a fight that goes like, jamming someone's nose into their brain, or you have, someone getting, chicken winged, or you get like lungs getting ripped out of someone's back. Like, you can go intestines, you can go Evil Dead, you can start firing nail guns at people. Like, Prison, as a few different movies recently, what was the Vince Vaughn one a couple years ago, have really started pointing out, is that the prison genre is a very, very good vehicle for horrifying violence. And I think it can be used this way. In that I went over my time by like 3 seconds, so
I was gonna have to be pulling the moderator for that and just have them try to cut you off.
There was a fly that just landed on my head, whatever.
There was a fly that landed on your head, right? Yeah, it was Jeff Goldblum, because it's Body Horror Month.
There you go.
So
and go.
All right. So as much as I love Riki-Oh and things like that, come on, producers, that may not translate. So let's really look at this Leviathan sequel, and let's look at this idea of environmentalism, these themes that you can bring into it, along with this idea of a virus that ravages a ship and changes your body. These are themes that are relevant to 2020. These are themes that an audience are going to understand. And if you put in a good ensemble cast and you give it to, a director that has an understanding of how to really manipulate tension and space, I think you've got a surefire hit on your hands here, particularly when it comes to horror movies. Yeah, certainly there are other underwater movies, such as Underwater, that didn't do so well, but that's why I think you need to bring it to the surface. It'll limit your budget on it, and make sure that you don't have to worry about doing all these underwater sequences or the big spectacle or anything like that. You can focus on those practical effects, bring in the horror crowd for that, get a director who's very comfortable with those. Somebody like maybe Fede Alvarez, if you want somebody like that. I think he would totally be game to do a Leviathan film. Or maybe, as my current love for, one of the Mo brothers, Chemo or Timo. I think that if they came to do an English language remake of Leviathan, it would really boom their career. So I think if you really focus on that and hammer home those themes, get a director who's really interested in delivering on the practical effects of a monster movie that also deals with, quarantines and viruses and things like that, I think you could have a movie that really hits home at the fears of what people are feeling right now, and one that definitely could deliver on all the scares, thrills, and kills that you need for a horror movie. And so that is my pitch for Leviathan 2, Leviathan.
Leviathan 2.
Just when you thought it was safe to get out of the water.
Oh, man.
Yes.
That was good.
Mix it with Dagon.
Hey, you're past your time. No good ideas after the time is over.
No good ideas. You can't pitch this. They're already leaving the elevator.
We can vamp and we can joke, but that was a good idea. Like, no. That's a good one. All right. So what do you think? Do you think that a man beating his way out of prison violently is more interesting than a couple of people at the bottom of the ocean whining about how their body transformed into fish shit?
I wish the audience could have seen your face when you just said that, because I've never seen somebody who looks so whiny in my life. So I applaud you. But there's that. I do believe, though, that maybe you guys should really reconsider it. Do you want just another violent prison movie? We have plenty of those. Or do you want a fish dysmorphia, body horrific film on a boat? Because that's cool. Put it on a goddamn boat. That's what I always say.
All right. Well, beyond all that, feel free to vote on our Twitter as always. And what do you think of the new format? Do you like us pitching against each other? I liked us pitching against each other.
Yeah, that's all you do is pitch at me, though. That's ridiculous. I really don't
pitch.
That's all you do, Sean. But absolutely, go check us out on the social medias. We would love to hear what you have to say. You can check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/nofranchisefatigue. You can check us at the Twitter. Go vote. I will put up a voting poll. Why I couldn't think of the word poll when, let's be honest, we've been talking about fish monsters for the last 5 minutes and I couldn't think of poll. So I'll put up a poll on Twitter for you guys to vote on for either Sean's idea, which is a remake of Riki-Oh, or for my idea, which is a remakeable of Leviathon. So definitely check that out on Twitter. And then definitely don't forget to check us out. We both are writers over at bloodbrothersfilms.com. That's where we write our reviews. I've been doing a shit ton of work for working at film festivals. I've got tons of reviews up for Fantastic Fest and Mile High Horror Film Festival. I will be doing Telluride Horror Show next week after this, so hopefully those will be up by the time that this goes live. But that way you can check all that out.
You can always email me at nffpod.sean@gmail.com. Also, I do usually write at Blood Brothers. Obviously, I've been a little off this week, having driven across the country. I'm coming to you live from New York right now. But in theory, I also write at Blood Brothers.
Yeah, you'll have shit up there soon enough. So, but yeah, check us out there. Check Sean out. Send him an email. Let us know what you think of the new formatting. Let us know what your choices would be. If you could pitch a remake of Riki-Oh, who would you cast in it? If you could pitch a remakeable to Leviathan, who do you think should direct it? We want to hear from you guys. So you can also tweet at me over at Twitter at the Movie Mat. You can also send me an email at nff.pod.
nff.pod.
NFF. Oh my God, I'm definitely drinking too much tonight. nffpod.fishshit@gmail.com. That's where you can get me and talk to me about Leviathan, because it's great fish shit.
All right, thank you guys for listening. Have a good one.
Have a good night.